Before Hananel for many years, and actually I came here 36 years ago with the first 10 families that renewed Jewish life in Shomron, in Samaria.
Amen.
So just really to create this connection between what we did 40 years ago when Jews returned to Hebron, to Beit El, to Shiloh, and what we did here 36 years ago, and what we do here today, and what we also do in many other places. I will very, very briefly tie it with current politics. Very briefly, because I say briefly because once we touch politics, it can really, it's endless. So I just want to tie it very briefly. Actually, when right after the Six-Day War in '67, we started forming groups, the purpose of which was to connect a group of people with a certain hill in Samaria, Judea, Gaza, the Golanites, and actually Sinai. So there were groups who were connected themselves and actually lived in Sinai, in Gaza, in the Golanites, in Shomron, in Samaria, and in Judea. In the course of time, and I assume Rafaela and Shosh and the other speakers, I see some people from Dumim here, and I know that you met many others. In the course of time, they developed more. I'm sure you heard the numbers, but it's always pleasant to return to it. Right now, there are more than 200 200 communities, cities, towns, farms, all over Judea and Samaria. More than 200. And I just want to tell you, I remember maybe I mentioned it to some of the people here on one of the visits. I remember I went to the United States right after Begin became Prime Minister, and I was interviewed on one of the TV stations, and they asked me if I don't think it was in the year 77 or 78. Mm-hmm. And I remember this. I mean, of course I remember, but I want to emphasize what I'm going to say now. I was asked by the interviewer whether if I don't think that the settlers are an obstacle to peace. I'm speaking about the years 1977 or beginning of 78. And I remember that what I said, and I tell you now, you will understand in a minute why I tell you this story now. I remember that my answer was, I don't see how 120 children, women and men, 120 children, women and men can be an obstacle to peace. This was the answer, because that was the reality at that time.
Right.
So now we speak about more than, we don't only speak, not only do we speak, we see more than 200 communities, more than 300,000 settlers here. And if we combine all the new neighborhoods of the eastern part of Jerusalem and the settlers here in the Jewish communities in Samaria and Judea, we speak about the number of 600,000 Jews that moved from the small Israel to the large Israel. It's not the largest, you know, the great Israel is bigger than that, but this is for your next visit. But between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean, 600,000 Jews live east of what is the political green line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, this means, and you can carry these words with you and these numbers with you wherever you go. This means that 10% of the Jewish population in the land of Israel, in the Holy Land, live on these mountains. Yeah. 10%. It's you know, sometimes people say, okay, let's take them from here and put them there, and let's take this, and no more. Yeah. It's impossible, because it has become a reality. Now I said I just touched slightly a political issue. You know that after the with the Bar-Ilan speech of Prime Minister Netanyahu, they started the talk of two-state solution. I think that what you do here today with us is one big contribution to the annihilation of such a possible reality, of course not, even of such a thought, a plan, anything that has to do with a plan or with a reality. What you do here, what Gdumim does, and I want to add to this, don't think that the line of pioneers in the land of Israel stopped. By no means. I can assure you, because I just come from a meeting on a hill, just now, even in the night, we were standing now on a very high hill east of Sikkim, east of Nablus, with a young group of people who are planning to settle this old new hill. And I can tell you that every night and every day, just as I did 40 years ago, 40, and 35 years ago, and 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I do it today. There are many, many, many young Israelis who want to settle new hills, to build new towns, and to settle the entire land. So Netanyahu can stand in University of Bar-Ilan and Obama in University of Cairo, and they can speak and speak and speak and speak. But what will decide the future is our prayers, your prayers, and I heard you were praying directly to God on this Shabbat in the big synagogue in Gdumim.
Amen.
Your prayers, our prayers, the prayers of the young generation in Israel, all these will put the political declarations of, God forbid, a two-state solution. What do you mean, what two states? There is one, you know, we have always said it, and here with you, Israel. Israel is Jacob, Yaakov.
Amen.
It is not Arab, it is Israel. So with your efforts, our togetherness, and I promise you, I tell you, that there are many, many young people who want to continue this holy work. So all this united effort, Be'ezrat Hashem, will make you come again next year and see many more communities, many more new outposts, and with our togetherness, we'll put all the political plans of any sort to a transient dust. I heard a lot of stories about what you did here. I wanted every day to come and see you and speak to you, and believe me, Shosh really made an extra effort to make us meet, and I knew I will have to make it. So I was really rushing from that hill to see you here, and I'm glad I had the chance
Thank
to.
you.
Thank
we
you
are
very
too.
much. I wanted to bring these words of hope and future to your heart that is full of the love of Eretz Israel, and
Amen.
my heart is full of love of you. Thank you very much.
This group came with the aim to work and to achieve and achieve. And on the other hand, we all the time want also to, at the same time, show the things that you're speaking about. There is a kind of contradiction or conflict between their desire to manage and us to show. So on Friday, there was the march of Yishai Shechter. So there was the opportunity to take a bus quickly to an hour and a half because they finished the work, and we went really to Chavat Gilad, to Gilad farm. So staying here in Gdumim and seeing the established community that started from less than Gilad farm, and we spoke about the beginning and what we are doing, and Har Chemet, Mount Chemet that you saw. So they had the opportunity to understand what you're speaking about, because they saw the spread out of the houses of young children, that many of them grew up in Gdumim. We saw some of them actually. So what Daniella spoke was Gilad Farm kind of style.
Which will become Gdumim kind of style, which will become Ariel kind of style.
I told them on Tu B'Shvat we planted trees beyond Har Ephraim, and the idea is to connect between Gilad Farm and Har Ephraim. So,
Next year.
Amen. Okay, we're starting from up at the top, and we're gonna come on down. We built little waterfalls coming down to be pools to make the water not flow so rapidly and to allow the children to play in the water. Splits here. This one goes down into the large vat. And the other goes over where the bridge is going across down the side, and we'll pick that up.
That might be a good idea, and what also might work a little bit better. I hope they haven't been, I wonder if these have been roasted or anything. Yeah, they look like they've been roasted. Well, when we go to the dinner tonight, you know where we go every night for dinner? In front of that building, there's an almond tree.
I couldn't read that.
And you get the fresh almonds that aren't roasted, and I think they'll be life, you know, because she thinks that.
Did a good job.
Falling off under the table and there's a bag of trash in its place. Yeah, man, I get trash on it.
Smacking my job.
Everything is about how well you're doing as an individual, and being a Christian is like a wrong.
So we've had a fair amount of rain and it's filled up. And so now we're down at a new pool that's been made. The cistern down at the bottom has been rerouted to here, and the pump will go down here to pump things back up to the top of the hill. And that's probably a liability issue, concern for children going over the edge down here. We've produced about 10 tons of concrete for this project, and so the past 8 days have been a lot of concrete. But the whole park over the past 6 years has been developed through the efforts of the Congregation of Fellowship Church, Castleberry, Florida, USA. And again, looking in the direction of Eval and Gerizim and Shechem, which most Christians would refer to as Shechem, but in Hebrew they say Shechem. And this is the road leading down to the park, facing over towards Shechem again. And the sign that's on the front of the entrance to the park. Show me your hands, Raj.
Maybe I can give him a pin.
Yeah?
Why didn't you tell me?
Say it again in Hebrew.
In Hebrew.
Lichluch kadosh.
Lechluk kadosh.
Holy soil.
Holy soil.
No, soil is no. Dirt is lichluch. Soil, adama kedosha. Adama.
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 Adam. Adama.
Ken Adam
Right.
came from Adama.
Right.
We came from Adama.
Right.
And we are going back to the Adama.
That might be the dirt we came from, Roger.
Yes.
We're all connected.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Why is somebody...
Okay, so here we are on our last day at Kidamim in 2011 anyway. And you guys have been working diligently the whole time we've been here. Mother and daughter, we want to clarify that, right? So what we're asking, I guess, is a number of things. Well, here's a tree that you've planted, right?
Yes.
Would you like to expound a little?
Yes, it's a blessing for me. This is my first time to Kidamim, and Eliza's my second time to Israel. This is Eliza's first trip to Israel, and it's been a real blessing to be here with her. And as we prepared to come over here, got closer to the trip, I was really thinking about how this is going to be a really special time for Eliza and I together. And she's 13 years old, and it kind of came to me that this is, for her, this is like her bat mitzvah, to be able to come to Israel and be part of building up Zion, and being a part of bringing the redemption and establishing the kingdom before the coming of Mashiach. And so this morning Shlomo says to us, come with me, we're gonna plant a tree. And as we're planting the tree, he comes over and he says, now you realize that planting a tree in Israel is a great mitzvah.
Right, there you go. Bat mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah. I was
Right.
able to share with him that that's how we've seen this trip, as that we don't have to become Jewish. We just have to be who we are and come alongside of them and support them and encourage them and let them be who they are and be who we are.
Right.
And so this is her bat mitzvah.
And we found them, we're post-fact here, having met with a lot of them now in the time that we've been here. We found them greatly encouraged by what we've been doing. So, Janae, you've met a lot of the children, especially kind of a spin-off from teaching a Hebrew class at the church, right?
Yes.
I'll let you. Did you want to stop there?
No, it's okay. Yeah, they kind of followed me around, and we were able to speak a little bit of Hebrew with the kids, and that was really neat. We've been to. I've also visited a school, and kind of got an inside look at the life, of a little kid here in Kidamim.
Right.
They're precious.
They are.
Sweet.
Well, bless you both, and thank you so much for sharing with us this special time. Thanks.